Hey everybody, today I want to talk to you about Big Joel. I hope you like the sweater. Picked it out just for you, Joel. Henry, Joel, Big Joel. I'll call you Big Joel. So I'm just going to dive in head first and tell you why I made this video. I love Big Joel. Okay. But to give you more context as to why I love him so much, let's look at some of the types of videos he makes. Big Joel's film analyses has him... Damn, I don't even know if I'm in focus. I can't check, can I? I should have autofocus on. So the first type of video that Big Joel makes, that Big Joel makes, are film analyses. Big Joel breaks down like the scenes and the themes of the films he reviews, but he doesn't just do that. He describes how the themes impact the audience, and in that way lets us explore how movies affect us. For example, his video on 13 Reasons Why covers the first 2 seasons and how the second season's mere existence and feeling that it needs to add more to what was already there in season 1 ends up ruining the show for the viewer because it retroactively changes things that were good. In season 2, Bryce and Hannah are shown to have spent more time outside of the one night that ruined everything, and once or twice outside of that they were seen in season 1, which really changes a lot of context to the original story, right? Even unintentionally. These are things that we all think about when we're watching movies, but most of us don't take the time to realize how it's affecting us. I like to do that a lot, but that's because I'm a film student and I overanalyze everything. I'm going to touch on Aladdin here a little bit, although I think Big Joel has plenty of great videos on the terrible Disney remakes. So his video on Aladdin really points out to me, or really exemplifies, how Disney just doesn't understand the movies they're remaking. It's clearly such a corporate cash grab. Can I speak, please, guys? I would really appreciate it. Guys, up top, God, someone, can I speak? Fuckers. There are people out there. Disney is so obsessed with just remaking the stories they already have made great that they don't bother in making the new ones great because they know everyone will just reference back in their heads to the originals. The Disney remakes are bad. They rarely build on the original. Go check out Big Joel's videos on the subject, please. Big Joel's Shrek video. I should probably check. Editor Ben can do it. Editor Ben, what is Big Joel's most viewed video, and is it Shrek? It's Editor Ben here. Yay! Everyone clap, round of applause. Editor Ben me, put in clap sound effect, please. I'm so sorry. Brian Cox needs to stop talking. Thank you, Brian Cox. We love you, Brian Cox. So looking at Big Joel's most popular video, it's actually the nonsense politics of PragerU. His Shrek video is actually pretty low on the list. Wow, I actually thought it was up there. Well, another successful tangent by Editor Ben, I guess. Moving on to another film video would be his analysis of the Shrek series and how the first 2 films build off of each other well, where they have themes about being a societal outcast and coming to terms with being different. And it's a very simple message, but there's depth to it. Shrek isn't only othered by the society, but he is brought in to be othered. He isn't just cast away, he wants to be cast away because they're ruthless to him. And he talks about Shrek 2 and how it tells us that although we may be different, we can't let power or whatever society may give us distort our own view of ourselves. And we should be our own true self. And love can give us that, apparently. I guess. That's what Shrek's saying. Maybe listen to it. Okay, but then here's where it gets good, because once he gets into Shrek 3 and 4, he talks about how the movies completely lose track of the themes. Shrek 3 focuses on keeping the people in power, and keeping that monarch moving. Having Shrek move up in the world, becoming more complacent in his place in the machine, and having to go find Arthur to to become the next powerful monarch. It completely loses the fact that society made them the villains in the story, and was othering them, and instead had Shrek fit into the mold of society. And then Shrek 4, while it is regarded as a better movie, and I haven't seen it since I was like 10 maybe, so I don't know. It's another It's a Wonderful Life, which we will talk about again very soon. It tells Shrek that he shouldn't hate the society he lives in. He shouldn't hate the society that has made him grow cold and isolated. He feels like he's not one of anything. He feels like he's looked up too much, or maybe. I don't really remember the plot. I just remember do the roar. It's a good line. It ends up teaching him that he needs to remain a part of the machine to be happy. He has to stay in the society that may end up driving his soul into a deep pit because it's better off than everyone fucking dying and being in the woods, and donkey's still a donkey, but Puss in Boots is fat, I think. Puss in Boots got fat, which is good for him. He's like a cute little kitty. And then Fiona's a badass. Maybe it's not so bad that Shrek didn't save anyone. A lot more chill vibes out in the woods than in the fuckwad kingdom. Finally, one last example of the type of film analyses Big Joel makes is Click, an hour-long video he made when he reached a subscriber goal. I have to check. Editor Ben, put it up, my guy. I won't lie, I did really connect with this movie when I was in 6th grade, watching it in my childhood bedroom on my 3DS Netflix player, and made me cry. I remember that. It definitely made me cry. But what Big Joel picks apart here is not just that the movie is bad or a mediocre comedy, which it definitely is, okay? It makes so many fat-phobic jokes, and jokes at the expense of Jennifer Coolidge, which is just bullshit. Stay off the queen like that. Are you fucking kidding me? The gays tried to kill her, and now you're trying to kill her too, Adam Sandler? She just won a fucking... what was it? Emmy? Graham? Peepus Room. Anyway, the point is, it may be a bad comedy, but that's not all it is. It is an amalgamation of multiple moral stories. Ones like The Magic Thread, It's a Wonderful Life, A Christmas Carol. Ones that try and get the protagonist to see the world from a different perspective, from a different view, to see it better, to appreciate life more. And that's supposed to be the basis of the story, and yet it completely fails at that because the filmmakers sides with Michael, the main character, Adam Sandler. Come on, I'm just call him Adam. Not laughing at him for belittling others, but laughing at the people he's belittling. And so at that point, Big Joel asks, what is the moral lesson? Is it for him to be a better person because the story is telling us that what he's doing is funny and right? Well, the movie tries to make the statement that he is spending too much time at work and away from his family. They do this through the whole plot device of the remote skipping without his acknowledgement, which on its face, like Big Joel says, is very stupid as a plot device, as just a mechanic, because it completely takes away the agency of the main character and just puts him on a roller coaster ride of just misery and seeing his life go to shit without any control. Like, that's really fucked up and not how these stories are supposed to work, right? Whatever, it's just a little problem. So while we may watch this film and we may cry when Adam Sandler dies in the street or laugh when he makes fun of Jennifer Coolidge, do we really feel those, or are they being artificially perpetuated by the storytelling? These are the interesting questions that Big Joel asks. To end this section, I will just say, and we do have another movie I want to look at, but it kind of segues into our next segment, so we'll just like kind of cut in two and make it both. I just want to say, Big Joel likes to look at film and not just see it as a piece of art, but more than that, an observation of how we tell art, how we see the world through art. These are important things that not many film reviewers on YouTube I see doing. And I just find it really inspirational. I love seeing that kind of stuff. That got a little mushy. Let's move on to Unplanned, an abortion film. Big Joel's video on Unplanned, an anti-abortion film, really sets the tone at the get-go. Wait, sweater change. Fuck! Doesn't fit over my glasses. My glasses! He gives the hypothetical scenario of a pro-choice, pro-life debate, and how they can lose all focus and go down rabbit holes and goalposts move because one side isn't willing to concede to the other. Here he's making the point that abortion is never going to be such a logical debate. It is a very emotionally and religiously charged subject that, even when looked at logically, will never be conceded to because one side thinks a zygote is a child. In this video, he references some more news, and I think I'm probably just going to use the same clip because it's a really good clip. He talks about how data shows that abortion does not go down when it is outlawed, and it is just much harder to get and much more unsafe and unregulated. And so the most logical explanation to reduce abortions is obviously better. What's sex ed? That's the one. Sex class, I almost called it. It's obviously better sex ed, but it's also... And obviously, as an anti-abortion film, this movie is going to try and claim that Planned Parenthood is evil, that they are after corporate interests. They just want to make money off of abortions. Abortions are their fries and soda, which is an insane fucking line to put in a movie. I love it so much. But Big Joel twists this message by questioning the very basis of this statement. The statement that the film is making is that Planned Parenthood is bad, and obviously the way to get rid of it would be to close it down. But would that reduce abortions? Of course. The creators of the film would never concede to that point. They were not going to concede to that point because they believe abortion is murder. And this is where another aspect of the film comes clearly into friction. What's the word? It's just really fucking wrong. And this friction comes from a center message of the film, that good Christians do not yell or belittle people who have had abortions, which is good. Big Joel and I both think that is good. It is much better than hateful people getting fucking hateful about abortions. But it is very hypocritical in a morality sense. If in your heart you believe they're a murderer, how can you just accept them back into society, not want to throw them in prison, as Big Joel says? I'm just parroting a lot of his points to get to the fact that I think he's really good. Now, this is what I was talking about with this being like a nice transition between the two types of videos he makes, because it's a film analysis, but it's also counter-arguing a conservative talking point. Oh boy, PragerU.
I'm going to talk to you about the most important thing you will...
I don't really have anything to say. I fucking hate PragerU. I can't think of a single fucking funny thing to say, because I fucking hate Chris Prager, or whatever the fuck his name is. They misconstrue facts and data to fit into their worldview and continue to perpetuate a society where the white religious get richer and everyone else stays at the bottom. Now, I don't want to stay on this topic too long. Not really feeling like debate lording right now, to be honest. So we're just going to stay with the fact that Big Joel is very good at pointing out the inconsistencies in PragerU's worldviews, and specifically, he does this by usually flipping the statements that PragerU makes broadly on their heads. Like when they claim J.D. Rockefeller was an amazing man who deserved to have the millions he did. It's not a question of whether he was a good man, it's a question of if anyone should have that much money at all. It's a very good question to ask, I think. And when they mention things like values driving us as a society, values being what we should govern by, Big Joel asks, what are values? How do we determine those values? Making these broad statements allows for Big Joel to ask these big philosophical questions. Okay, so last up on this little tour is The School of Life, made by Alain de Botton, which I just learned phonetically, so I have no idea how to spell it. It pretends to be a self-help channel, but it really is just Andrew Tate for Ivy Leaguers. Like PragerU, the Book of Life tries to make very certain claims about big obscure questions in life, like why you should have a bad childhood, or why you're not weird for not wanting to go to a party, or why we want to be parents to fix the mistakes of our own parents. Like, this just seems like some personal stuff between you and your family, dude, but say it to the world if you want. Well, no, don't say it to the world, because it's really damaging. As Big Joel proves, you shouldn't just blindly believe these things, or think that just because your life is similar to his, that these are the truths of the world, because then you're not seeing anything beyond your own life. Big Joel likes to look at the bigger picture. That's the essence of his content. It's to try and take a step back from everything and look at it from a broader context, not just one context. The last type of video I want to touch on is the big YouTuber analysis. It covers people like Logan Paul, Shane Dawson, someone else. Oh my god, Editor Ben, you don't have to do it for once. Toddy Westbrook, I barely remember that situation. Do not care to rewatch that video. Love you, Big Joel, but not right now. Now again, just touch on it because I do really want you all to go watch Big Joel's videos. Big Joel analyzes the clear disconnect between Shane and his audience, between Shane and the content he's producing. Because when he makes documentaries on people like Jeffree Star and Jake Paul, he asks if the money and fame has gotten to them, or if it's changed them as a person, if it's revealed what's always been there, whatever. They are people in the spotlight, and he claims he wants to see what they're like behind the scene. Yet Shane is in the same position. He is another one of these big YouTubers that has spent his time collecting wealth and trying different ventures, making more money, spreading to a bigger audience of kids, becoming more influential. And he has very little to actually comment on this when it becomes real. When he sees all the wealth that Jake Paul has accumulated, all the riches that they can spend, him and Jeffree Star, he glamorizes it. In theory, if we do stick with capitalism, which it seems like we're going to be for a time, we want good people to get rich, right? So what happens when bad people like Logan Paul or Jake Paul get rich? That should be the system going wrong, right? Well, Shane's not going to say that because Shane is in the exact same situation as Jake and Logan and Toddy and who was the other one, Jeffree? I don't know. They all kind of blend together. And so Big Joel just points out essentially that Shane Dawson is a bad documentarian. His content isn't good anyway, but his framing of them is very biased. And of course he's not going to say anything negative regarding the accumulation of wealth one can get through YouTube or makeup sales, because he does those things. The whole documentary with Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson with Jeffree Star was a fucking ad for their new makeup line. So, good for you guys, I guess. Get that fucking bag. Okay, I'm gonna put on my Big Joel voice one more time. So what's the conclusion we come to now that we've gotten here? Well, I like to think Big Joel uses his platform on YouTube to explore those niches in life that we all love, like film. Huge niche, I know. And the philosophical explorations of them to better understand us as a people and what we believe in. Big Joel wants people to be better, make better art, analyze everything. He is what people like Jordan Peterson want to be. A thoughtful, well-rounded, modern philosopher that does not let feelings affect him. But Big Joel is more than that. He incorporates the feelings into the facts because feelings are a very important thing in making sure everyone has equal rights. Something Big Joel very much believes in that Jordan Peterson does not, because he's a fucking hack. Okay, I'm done with my Big Joel voice. I hope it was fine. It kind of trailed off at the end. Anyway, I guess that's my video. Go watch Big Joel.